Now, so far in this lesson, we've always talked about pivot tables. Pivot tables are a very powerful feature, and for a few features of Excel, we've had a pivot chart. Pivot charts in Excel 2003, though, were really kind of clunky. They didn't work very well. Let me show you how they've improved in Excel 2007. Once we have a pivot table, we can convert it to a pivot chart simply by clicking the pivot chart icon in the Options ribbon. We can choose what type of chart we'd like to see. I'm going to choose the stacked column chart, the second thumbnail in the Insert Chart dialog. Click OK, and Excel draws a default pivot table. We have dates going along the bottom, and then you can see the defects that popped up on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of the month. This is a great visual view that the red line, line number 2, started having problems earlier than the other lines, but eventually on the last day of the month, you can see the purple and green became substantial. Now, what's fascinating about the pivot table is that we can change the value in the report filter. If I click the filter button at the right-hand side of the report filter dropdown, I can show all, click OK. There's an analysis of all of our defects, or I can choose any other specific defect, for example, air conditioning failure. You'll see that these were relatively constant throughout the month, but there was something around the 20th or the 21st where those numbers spiked up. The pivot chart filter pane can tend to get in the way. Feel free to drag that out of the way so you can see the entire pivot chart. If you would like to change the pivot chart to a different type of chart, for example, a line chart or an area chart, that's easy to do using the Change Chart Type icon in the ribbon. I'll choose a stacked area chart. Click OK, and we have a completely different view of our data. Of course, all of the charting formatting options that we'll discuss in another lesson are available here in Pivot Charts. Well, pivot charts were fairly hard to use in old versions of Excel. Check them out in Excel 2007. They've come a long way and are very, very useful.